Hello, Tashidele, everybody. Tashidele. Okay, so so as usual, take a few moments to settle our body and mind in the present moment. Try to tame our mind to be focused through the breathing exercise by focusing on the natural inhalation and exhalation of the breathing. So now take a few moments to refresh our refuge practice in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Try to establish, try to reinforce or reestablish irresistible faith in the ability of Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha and full conviction in their abilities to influence us to renounce the samsara and its causes and engage totality in the path to liberation and without interruption by unfavorable conditions like negative emotions, drastic negative emotions such as arising of wrong view to Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha, arising wrong view on karmic law, cause and effect. Or completely drown in the complete control of self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude and totally letting go of the spiritual purpose of enlightenment. And not only that, also not to interrupt by unfavorable rebirth even when we pass away from this life, and never to interrupt by unfavorable rebirth in lower realms, and consistently, continuously follow the Guru Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha's perfect path and example, and actualize full enlightenment without much delay for the benefit of all sentient beings. Yeah. So try to establish that irreducible faith and absolute conviction in our mental continuum. So now take a few moments to feel the presence of all the lineage gurus, starting from our precious root gurus, like Kyabcha Lama Sovereign Rinpoche, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, and all your other spiritual gurus, and all the Kadamba lineage masters, after Lama Tsongkhapa, after Geshe Trungpa, after Lama Atisha, then all the lineage gurus of the profound teaching and the extensive teaching up to Manjushri and Maitreya, and deeply feel that we are receiving the stream of blessings of realizations, the transmission of realizations of the teachings, of the entire teachings, in particularly here through the Lojong practice, through the mind training practice. Try to feel that, I'm absolutely ready to commit myself to live a life in my very best, accordingly with the perfect example of precious gurus. In our day-to-day life, the way to face the samsaric circumstances, the challenges, that thinking that I'm going to use the Lojong practice, mind training teachings, as a tool to overcome and transform those experiences. And not only that, going to use the Lojong teaching, like our precious gurus, as a main guideline, throughout entire our life in relation to any good or bad experiences or circumstances comes in our way, including the death and life after. And when you genuinely feel that you can do that, and that is a sign of receiving blessing. That is the sign of that your mind received the stream of blessing of the gurus. So now take a few moments to meditate on loving kind, meditate on precious human rebirth. Try to establish this sense of expression from in the depth of your heart, the feeling how fortunate I am, how fortunate life that I have, you know, through all the different reasons. One of the reasons that we all have, the life itself, the life force. We are not dead yet. You see, so that itself is very, very precious. Then, not just having life. One of the common fortunate reason for all of us here is, we met the Buddha Dharma. Not only that, we met the essence, the most precious, essential Buddha Dharma, that which is the Lojong teaching, Lojong practice. We have all the lineage blessings, transmissions on the teaching, commentary on the teaching, instruction on the teaching. We have the blessing. We have the blessing of in all ways, in every ways, the every channeling ways of the blessings of the teaching. So that itself is extremely precious thing that happened in our life. Then every one of us, in our day-to-day life, we are trying our very best to overcome negative emotions, overcome negative emotions by, at least not letting them arise. Even is not arising, but then understanding the tendency of the negative emotions are still in our mental continuum. Through the understanding of we are still a samsaric being, then we never give up. Every day to day, in our very best, try to engage in the virtues, in the Dharma practices. In particularly as a Lojong practitioner, without missing, at least, 6 or more times a day, reflecting on Bodhicitta, cultivating Bodhicitta, meditating on emptiness, trying our very, very best, in order to eradicate even the tendency of the negative emotion. So just having that quality in us, this basic quality in us, is extremely, extremely precious. Not every human being have this quality. Yeah. As being as a samsaric human being, then limitations in the samsaric life is definitely there. That's why it's a samsara in relation to health, in relation to business, prosperity, etc. that has to be there because we are samsaric being. You see, so uh, uh, but that is the not the main focus of life. The main meaning was a main the summary of the life. Even how drastic samsaric situation we are in, as long as that our mind has the yeah um, has this understanding or the awareness of cultivation of bodhicitta and emptiness, then the meaning of the life is fulfilled even in the midst of samsaric contamination. So therefore, uh, we cannot think that how can I feel I'm so fortunate because I have physical health limitations. How can you say that we should feel fortunate of life because I have financial issues and this and that issues? You see, so comparing to the meaning that we have, then all these limitations are it's like a one small dot in the huge globe like that. As we always make aspirations, ever lifetime, never to be separated from perfect Mayani Guru, isn't it? And this life, we have those qualities. We have met perfect Mayani Gurus. We also make aspirations, prayers, ever lifetime, never to be separated from the complete teachings of the Buddha. And this life, we have the complete teachings, both sutra and the tantra. You see, so from the fortunate aspect, there's nothing extra more to us because we already achieve, the most of favorable blessings, and conditions in our life. So therefore, should feel how fortunate and try to feel happy, whatever situation that we may be going through, as mentioned before, the samsaric circumstances, these are unbelievable, amazing reasons to feel happy. You know, if immediately, just right now, you don't feel happy, you try to meditate it, longer. Try to enforce to think like that again and again. There's a natural sense of the good energy, mentally and physically start to develop in our heart. So understanding this, then make a firm determination that I try to live rest of my life as peaceful as possible within and without, as loving as possible, as compassionate as possible, as harmonious as possible. Starting with one's family member, try to bring as much happiness as possible. Oneself be happy and try to bring happiness around, to the surrounding people. From every means, at least in the heart, at least through kind words, at least through physical gesture of care, service, help, etc. You see how beautiful, how wonderful that you can be for so many others. You see, so yeah. So these are illustration of bodhicitta, and these are illustration of having the understanding of emptiness, the wisdom of interconnectivityness among others, starting from your family members, in a positive way, you see. And that has to cultivate right now, starting from right now, with people and the animals around you, and that leads to the second very important meditation on death and impermanent. You see, death is certain, time of death is uncertain. Every single functioning phenomena lies in the nature of impermanent. You see, everything momentarily changes. You see, so if we don't cultivate these valuable practices right now with the people whom with you, then there may not be. There's a danger of there may not be a chance later, even how precious it is. But then, because of everything lies in the impermanent nature, there's a danger. You see. But if you cultivate now, immense of benefit for oneself and immense of benefit to the surrounding beings, and that will help this impermanent nature to continue in the positive kind of transition, in a longer life, better health, better family, better prosperity, like that. You see, so there's a great benefit in that. You see, so now this leads to the another important point of meditation is the meditation on karma, karmic law, cause and effect. Every goodness is a result of virtue, virtues like loving kindness, compassion, etc. Every negative experiences in our life, individually, for oneself, for overall in the family, overall in the country, etc. Everything is byproduct of negative actions of the past, or negative actions. The result of negative actions. You see. So therefore, for all the reasons to achieve what we aspire for, only happiness, and to overcome and to avoid, that thing that which we never to aspire, which is the encounters of suffering and problem. You see. So therefore, the wisest way is to understand the impermanent nature and then cultivate the virtue this very moment onward. So these four object of meditations are called the four contemplation, or the four, you also call as a four preliminary object of meditation, as we also discussed this in earlier the various Lojong teachings. Yeah, so then now take a few moments to meditate on loving kindness and compassion, keeping in the heart that there's so many numberless sentient beings are suffering in the three lower realms, and just even in the higher realm, like in the human realm, we all know right very now that millions of people are suffering from this coronavirus, sickness. Then billions of people are affected, in many ways, brings so much inconvenience and so much anxiety, so much negativities out there. So keeping all those sentient beings in our heart, then generate genuine sense of love first, wishing every this numberless sentient beings including one's family, including oneself, only, actualize happiness and the causes and conditions of happiness. Then, secondly, generate compassion, expressing all these sentient beings, never to experience suffering and never to encounter causes and conditions of sufferings. Then, thirdly, then generate the heart of kindness, that for that purpose, then I'm going to accumulate as much as merit as possible, as much as dharma as possible, as much as virtues as possible through this session, and that will be the substance that I can able to dedicate, offer as a charity, meritorious charity to the numberless sentient beings, as a conditional causes for them to actualize everlasting, perfect happiness of liberation. Okay, thank you. So we will go through the text. Yeah, so today we will start with the elaborate commentary on the 7-point, mind training. The commentary by the Geshe Cheka was one of a principal disciple, Kadamba Geshe Chibuwa, or say Chibu Cheki Genzen. There are many commentaries, and one of the extensive commentary on 7-point thought transformation in the later composition by Lama Tsongkhapa, the sun rays of the mind training. And another one, the earlier composition of the commentary on the 7 points is by the say Chibuchegi Genzen or the Kadamba Geshe, Chibuwa. So we will go through that. Since the commentary is a very detailed and elaborate, so I hope that no need to. I hope that myself no need to get distracted by adding too many extra comments. So I hope that we can just study gradually, and also so for those of you who to whom that I'm not being obstacle in every Sunday with this session, then hope that I don't have to rush, just go gradually, slowly. And since the commentary itself is quite long, so may take quite a number of weeks, or even few months, so yeah. So I hope that I'm not disturbing some of you, some of your time, because there are a few of them that who really want to receive these teachings. If I want to do the oral transmission way, then it can finish very fast. Just read through it. But then I felt that we have to find way how we can apply these teachings, in our today's day-to-day life. I think that is very important, in particularly to do with the Lojong teaching that has to directly have to take into application of practical practice in our day-to-day life. Otherwise, how to say, how powerful the Lojong teaching is, you cannot actualize, you cannot feel it. The Lojong teaching is regarded one of the most powerful, teaching, like the most essential teaching of entire Buddha Dharma. Directly, tackle or the hits or directly antidotes, to the disturbing emotions that we day to day, that under the influence we suffer so much, and we eagerly want to find solution and want to be free from this dominant negative emotions. And in many ways, in many times, we thought that just accumulating many knowledge may be able to help, but that's not necessary. Not really. You see, the antidote has to actualize in the continuum. Antidotes, the Dharma, the teaching has to occupy the system. You see, so the Lojong teaching, whatever we are learning, this thinking, the Lojong way of thinking, has to occupy our mind. So our mindset has to be like the Lojong way of thinking. That until that you occupy entirety of your mind, that even though the negative emotions is not eradicated yet, but at least it stay under suppress. It stay under control. You see, and that itself is the way how the negative emotions gradually will be eliminated. You see, and so you see that the one of the fact about negative emotion is whenever you let it arise, whenever you let it express through our body, speech, and mind, that's the way how gather their space, and how they increase their power, how they multiplied, their team of negative emotions. You see, so even just simply suppressing it, even unable to purify, that loses, their battleground. That loses the increasement of their types. You see, so in order to do that, the Lojong, the teaching has to be our mindset. You see, so when that happens, then mind training happens. Our mind, the training take place. You see, otherwise you heard the mind training teaching, but you are not in the mind training. You are not in the mind training. You see, so so that's why. Just the way how we present the mind training teaching is already very, very close to our ordinary very, very relevant to our ordinary life. You see, but then since the human our human environment, even the mindsets, there's so much external influence, that way that the interpretation of these teachings that directly fits to our today's way of the negative world of ourselves. It require there's certain extra illustration on the teaching. So like that. So anyway. Yeah. Okay, yes. So those of you who are using the same text, then it is on page 87. A commentary on the 7-point mind training. Say Chilbu Chögi Ganzen. So start by saying that your precious body is the source of all goodness. In the midst of the darkness of the ignorance of three worlds, you uphold the pure light that illuminates the path to liberation. To you, Selingba, who are true to your excellent name, I bow my head. So this section is the what you call the paying homage. Paying homage. Before the say Chibuchugi Ganzen is paying homage to Lama Selingba in order, to receive the blessings to the completion of the composition of this text, and as well as whoever, including himself and whoever that engage into this teaching, able to sustain, increase, or get blessing from these lineage gurus on the mind training practice. And second reason to pay homage is to clear obstacle, clear obstacle on the compositions of the teaching. So so here it's expressing the qualities of Lama Selingba, one of the main root guru to the lineage of this Lojong teaching, the absolute root guru of the Lama Atisha, that who transmitted the teaching to Geshe Domdamba, then to like such as Geshe Podova, and then coming down to Geshe Chekawa, then coming down to say Chibuchugi Genzi himself. So your precious body is a source of all goodness. So precious body here, the preciousness of the Buddha's qualities, which is source of the all goodness to anyone that who come in relation to them. Who come in relation to them. It's a wish fulfilling jewel. So Buddha's holy body, like Lama Selingba's holy body, is like an enlightened Buddha's holy body. So as a Buddha's holy body, then just even simply remembering, even seeing, even hearing, that the sentient being's mind get purified and accumulate, immense of merit, immense of virtuous influence. So therefore, so the virtues, the purification of negativities, and the virtues are the source of our goodness. So that, therefore, your precious body is the source of all goodness. In the midst of the darkness of ignorance of the three worlds, you uphold the pure light of illuminating the path to liberation. It is a very difficult time. Even from the time that Guru Shakyamuni Buddha came into this world and up to now, is regarded as a 5 degenerated time. So it's very, very difficult, to overcome the causes of the suffering. the negative emotions are very, very tough, and accumulation of negativities are intense, you see. So even in the such darkness of the time, then, you, Silingba, afford the light of illuminating path to liberation, So therefore, to your excellent name, I bowed my head like that. So following his full enlightenment, Lord Shakyamuni turned the wheel of Dharma 3 times. And after his entry into Nirvana, the author of the commentarial treatise illustrate this 3 training. So after Guru Shakyamuni Buddha attained the full enlightenment in under the Bodhi tree in the Bodh Gaya, Central India, then after 49 days later, so Buddha turned the wheel of Dharma historically 3 times. First wheel turning Dharma, second wheel turning Dharma, third wheel turning Dharma. First wheel turning Dharma on the Four Noble Truth, mainly, the direct disciples are the lesser vehicle practitioner. Then second wheel turning Dharma on emptiness, Hasutra. The direct disciples are mainly the Mahayanic, the greater vehicle. Then the third wheel turning Dharma is to mainly to the clarification of the earlier 2 teachings that he revealed. So so then after Guru Shakyamuni Buddha passed away, then all his treatises compiled together through the Buddhist Council in that time. The doctrine is taught into the two vehicles, namely the great vehicle and the lesser vehicle. The great vehicle is divided further into 2, the mantra, the tantra vehicle, and the perfection, the sutra vehicle. As far as their subject matter is concerned, all of this vehicle present either directly or indirectly the elimination of self-grasping and the cherishing of others. The two themes. So whether it's to do with the the lesser vehicle or the higher vehicle, or whether it's sutra vehicle or the tantric vehicle, the ultimate goal, the main theme of the teaching is to eliminate the self-grasping attitude and to develop the cherishing altruistic mind, the cherishing heart to all sentient beings' well-being, the altruistic mind. So that is the theme. So here we understand, as there are people that who think, the objective of the lesser vehicle, there's no intention to lead to the cultivation of the altruism, towards all sentient beings. Yes, there is an intention. The word do not illustrate, but the intention of the Buddha is for that. Whatever teaching taught to the lesser vehicle is to eventually, to lead to the enlightenment. You see, so then even the tantra. Some believe in tantra. There's no requirement of altruism, as long as the powerful mantra is there. The purpose of the tantra is fulfilled. So Buddha's intent of the tantric practice, the mantra practice, is only fulfilled, which is infused by the altruistic practice, the bodhicitta practice. So in short, in the entire teaching's intention, the entire teaching's theme is the same: to eliminate the self-grasping. When you talk about this self-grasping, the self-grasping can be interpreted into the self-grasping, the negation that is common to both the lesser vehicle and the higher vehicle, or the self-grasping that is uncommon to be negated to the higher vehicle, which is the self-cherishing attitude. These two are the theme. These two are the object to be negated, which is the purpose of the cultivation of any form of Dharma. And the altruistic, the common altruistic to the lesser and higher vehicle is love and compassion. The uncommon altruistic, which is expressed in the higher vehicle, the sutra and the tantra, is the bodhicitta, the Buddhi mind, and the theme of the teaching is to develop this altruism. So this is the meaning. Since there is only the self-grasping to be eliminated and the well-being of the others to be sought, those engaged in the practice of the Buddha's teaching must understand how to relate whatever practice they undertake to these two endeavors. Very clear, yeah? You should practice in the such manner. So you see, when we do pujas, when we recite mantras, when we do any, the aspect of ritual in Buddhist practice, the main theme of the puja is to eliminate the self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude and to develop loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. So that has to play. That has to be the main tool to bring the effect of the puja, effect of the mantra, effect of any ritual. Therefore, the ritual just not become just ritual. The ritual become meditation. The ritual become a path. Ritual become a very, very profound and extremely important, guideline, through the stages of the path of enlightenment. If this true theme is missing, then ritual remain as just ritual. It may even danger of just remaining as a superstitious, activities. You see, then even the recitation of mantra, instead of benefiting, there's a danger of even being harmful. When this true theme of the teaching is not engaged, then mantra recitation, instead of benefiting, it may turn into a misuse of the power of the mantra, to create negative karma. So like that. So you see, so anyone, anyone, from the leader to the follower, from the guru to the disciple, you see, why we are practicing Dharma, why someone's teaching, why someone is listening to the Dharma, you see, why you are providing teaching in your Dharma groups, why someone put effort to come to the Dharma group, to actualize these two purposes. You see, so everyone need to carry these two purposes. You see, so on the basis of this fundamental importance, then every aspect, even we just get together at the park and have a nice party, nice meal, a picnic, become a amazing, Dharma event, amazing, beneficial, Dharma session. With this basis, even we are, having a wonderful time, in the beach, in the beach, swim in the water, what you call sunbath, some sunbath, some play, some cook, some drink, some eat, whatever, with carrying this two theme, it become a perfect Dharma practice, perfect Dharma session, you see. And even someone doing a retreat in the name of retreat, if these two themes is losing, the retreat is just name, just waste. It's almost like not doing anything and just hiding in the room and wasting. It's very much wasting your time, wasting your opportunities. You see, and in that sense, then there's a danger of increasement of negative emotion and the decreasement of wisdom. You see, so yeah, so like that. So it's a really really precious, pit instruction. You see, of course, during all Dharma teachings are emphasized, but not like very straightforward. You see, not like an instruction. Say should do like that, must do like that. Otherwise, no. Don't really say like that in every field of the teaching. You see, you see, and sometimes we get lost, in that journey. Our real purpose of the Dharma, real direction towards the Dharma. You see, so like that. You see, so whatever way of practices that one is carrying, either in a group, either in a solitude, whatever, as long as we carry these two themes, focus on elimination of the true grasping and focus on the development of the altruism, the wisdom altruism and the attitude altruism, bodhicitta and emptiness. Then that's it. So you should practice in such manner, it says. If you are able to, your Dharma practice will then be free of error, and you will arrive at the enlightened intent of the Buddha. You see, very very clear and very serious, thing to keep in our heart. You see, otherwise we will come to a point. Otherwise, there's a danger of becoming our life, no perfect, worldly life, and neither perfect worldly life nor spiritual life. In between. Like we usually say, if you want to become monk or nun, be perfect one. Otherwise, just stay away and be the wild one. Whatever you want to do. But otherwise, like in between. Kind of practicing, kind of doing worldly. It's like very gray way. It is very confusing. It is confusing for others to perceive you. It is also confusing to your own, idea of life. You see, so whether practicing Dharma and non-practitioner, Sangha and non-Sangha, so whatever path you choose is individual choice, but whatever you choose, like very clear, very, very clear, you see. So that way, then, how to say, because every action of yours also affects others, you see, affects at least some people of your family member, you see. If we become genuinely a good practitioner inwardly, then that illustrates that quality in our speech and our body. Naturally, our family members and friends that will surround you surely will be affected positively, you see. And similar way, if we become Sangha, the genuine Sangha from inside, then, family members and friends and fellow monks and nuns will be inspired, and so beneficial, you see. But then we carry the name of Dhamma practitioner, but then we behave, our body, speech, and mind behave worse than who have not met the Dhamma. Then that is a disaster, you see. Then who already monk and nun, then not observing the precepts purely, and especially the Vinaya. There's a physical disciplines, verbal disciplines, and mental disciplines are there. all this, if we don't uphold, as tight as possible, then these lay people, when see the Sangha, is very discouraging. It can be very condemning. You see. So you see. So of course, becoming Sangha is a very big responsibility. There's a great benefit, great privilege in the realizations, in opportunity to practice, but also great responsibility. You see, you cannot say I'm just monk, I'm just one nun, one monk. Who cares? I can just act whatever I like. The rest of the few billions of lay people out there will be affected. So every action is you have to concern about that. As a Buddhist practitioner, I'm saying. You see, so as a Dharma practitioner, even though you are alone, but there are billions of other people out there. Directly or indirectly will be affected. You see. So similar goes to whatever what you call the responsibilities, commitment that we carry in the Dharma field. We have to uphold, extremely, extremely serious. You see, and that cannot think again. Say, oh, then wow, to uphold responsibility in the Dharma is a very stressful. Some people may think like that. They may give up like that. No, it's a huge privilege. You see, when you look into the benefit of even one moment of observation of the vow purely, is unimmeasurable benefits. Than not upholding. You see, then one moment of cultivation of refuge, even a refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha, and more than that, upholding altruistic refuge infused by bodhicitta, then comparing to them who do not, is unbelievable the meritorious benefits that which benefits now and the rest of the future lifetime, and also benefit the rest of the numberless sentient beings. You see, so we have to feel privileged. We cannot feel suffocated. You see, we have to feel privileged. The more the vow we have, the more the Dharma responsibility that we are asked to do, the more the Dharma responsibility we take, we should feel privileged. We should feel very, very privileged. Not a pressure, not a stress. You see, so like that. Yeah. So if we, you see, if you are able to, say, your Dharma practice will then be free of error, and you will arrive at the enlightened intent of the Buddha. You see, otherwise not. Can this 2 point be practiced adequately on the basis of reading the treatise? Can these practices, just having the theory, understanding of theory, just having the just through reading books, it is sufficient? You see, it's a big question. This is a big question, and the answer has to be very clear. You see, especially today's time. You see, especially in today's time, in the area where Buddhism is quite fresh, quite new. Buddhism is not a initial culture. The religious culture. So people thinks that just having intellectual knowledge is good enough. The purpose is fulfilled. As long as I know what is it is good enough. To actualize the intent of the Buddha on the Dharma practice. You see, and they are even saying now we don't need gurus. We don't need gurus. There's also how true, I don't know. I hear quite often. Now even in the West, they say all the teachings are already translated into different language. Now we don't need the lamas that who so-called hold this lineage. Now we can read and we understand everything. And We don't need them to explain. We don't need anything else. And there are also, how true, I don't know, but I also hear that said, now, compared to those, some of the Lama that, who is so traditional, like some people think that they can explain even better. They can explain better, because of understand the language, and they can explain better. So this is absolutely wrong, absolutely misinterpreted, misunderstood. You see, a spiritual practice, spiritual blessing is not as simple as that. It's not simple as that. You see, it has to go beyond intellectual knowledge. It has to go beyond the elaboration of, fancy poetry, elaboration, explanatories. Had to go beyond than that. What really counts is the blessing of the lineage, the transmission of the lineage that comes from, the realization of the practice from the heart to the heart. You see, not from the word to the word, from heart to the heart. You see, the word and the letters are very much like kind of some few tools to deliver it. The main thing is that the transmission has to be someone who has the authority. Authority here doesn't mean signature authority. Authority of that person already have the lineage blessing. What do you call the uninterrupted lineage blessing? Unbroken lineage blessing that can trace all the way up to the source, the enlightened Buddha themselves. You see, then uphold whatever commitment of that particular teaching that been holding, all the past, up to your lineage guru, all the way up to the source, and with that lineage blessing, then that with the confidence, then you pass down to the ripened listener, meaning that who is also carry the qualities of the disciple that described in the Lamrim. You see, at least someone that who is open-minded, completely submitting, to the teaching, and someone that who established the spiritual relationship with the qualified, both the disciple and both the spiritual teacher. You see, so there's many ways to say that, but one thing that the spiritual blessing that has to go beyond just intellectual knowledge. You see, last time when I was in Oxford, there are many scholars, both from the lesser vehicle as well as the Mahayana as well as the Tantra, great scholars. Is absolutely, fully qualified in understanding of the scriptures, through intense learning, unbelievable wisdom. You see, unbelievable wisdom. But many of them, they have not, they don't have this, lineage blessings. Some may have, but those people that I have seen, that I have communicated with them, they don't have. They have put a lot of effort, initially even to study Tibetan. Their Tibetans are, wow, it's super good, super good. And they learn so fast because I think they have such a great brain. They learn so fast, such a few months and few years. They master the Tibetan readings. Then after that, they really study the texts. Then they even become professor of this treatise. You see, then yeah. So then, but then when you have conversation, they have no such like link to any guru to receive transmissions. And they also believe that it's not necessary. Is to understand. But from their point of view, they're academics, academic. So for them, the purpose is fulfilled. But when they interpret, when they teach to others, there's no differentiation between academia way of presenting the Dharma and the spiritual way of presenting the Dharma. They mix together, and that I felt uncomfortable. So I had to stand up and argue with them, debate with them. So I make a point that the intent of the Buddha in Buddha's teaching will only fulfilled when you actualize the blessing of the Dharma. Until then, even every single word of the Buddha that you understood and you memorize, it is not sufficient that you have received, you have understood, every single word meaning that you may understood, every single word that you have memorized, but I will still say that you have not understood completely the Buddha Dharma. The Buddha Dharma will only understand completely is when you receive the blessing of those understanding in your heart through the channeling of the unbroken lineage. So you see, so this is the question here. Can these 2 points be practiced adequately on the basis of reading the treatise? So here, Kadamba Geshe's Chibu was very loudly say, no, the tantras are tangled. The main treatise are disorganized, and the pit instruction remain concealed. Okay, so through much learning, maybe the complicated, the tantric teachings and the disorganized, sutric teachings, you may able to organize it. You may able to, understand it, intellectually, but most of all, the pit instruction remain concealed. Concealed by who? Concealed by the lineage holders. You see, so therefore, these lineage holders, they are not saying they are guru. Someone there who inspired to receive the blessing, then when you relate to that person become your guru only. It's not saying that I'm guru. You have to listen to me. It's not like that. There's a misunderstanding of like guru is already kind of ultimate out there. Then it's like kind of like you have to submit in that authority. Is for the benefit of that guru to fulfill what his ambition is on the spiritual practice. Not like that. It's to we found the guru, to our own benefit. We regarded someone as our guru for our own benefit. You see, the qualified guru side doesn't matter. Someone regard him as guru or not, doesn't matter. You see, the main thing is that for us to receive that pit instruction, that which is possessed by that person or that practitioner. You see, conceal is not because of stingy. The guru is that person is being stingy about Dharma. The label that you use, conceal, is because the disciple's karma is not ripened. If our heart is ripened to practice that teaching, no more conceal. The teaching has to be revealed, and teaching will be revealed. So you see, so therefore, the Buddha's teaching cannot reveal without asking, without requesting. So Buddha's teaching has to be revealed when someone asks to reveal it. So there's a very profound reason there. You see, otherwise even this conceal sounds like, if we don't think carefully, There are a few gurus that who has so much lineage, and they're so stingy. They just hold for themselves. And in particular, in relation to the Lojong teaching or some of the tantric teaching in the past, it's like such as this Lojong teaching, transmit from year to year, whisper teaching. Not really transmitted publicly. You see, Geshe Chekawa is the one that who revealed into public. And we might find that, wow, if this teaching is so precious, why this guru has been so stingy? Why Geshe Domdempa being so stingy? Why Geshe Podova being so stingy? Since the teaching is so precious, why didn't you reveal it to public? Just announce, advertise, put a big poster, why didn't do that? You see, we may think like that. The thing is that ourself is not ripened yet. You see, the disciple is not ripened yet. You see, when the disciple is ripened, when the disciple is ready, whenever you ask the guru is ready. You see, so therefore, whatever teaching that we want to receive, especially the pit instructions, it's almost like nothing much to complain to the gurus. We have to prepare ourselves. We have to prepare with all the conducive conditions within ourselves, the disciples' quality within ourselves. When we see we are ready with that, guru may even approach, our door, knock the door, say, hello, are you ready? I thought you're ready. Are you? So anyway, yeah. So then he says, no, yeah. So the pit instruction is concealed, shielded within six parameters. They require, dependent on the teacher's instruction, to understand the pit instructions. You see, very, very subtle techniques. You see, very, very subtle thing. What we see in the text, especially like Lojong teachings, tantric teachings, won't put everything there. You see, so you need, accordingly with the individual disciples, the dispositions of the karma, then, and that pit instruction, that concealed one, can be just one, in the form of just one advice. Maybe is not necessarily like extensive explanation on emptiness or extensive explanation on bodhicitta. That pit instruction may be, every day you recite one mala of Om Mani Padme Hum. That could be the pit instruction from your guru. You may be carrying the caution of, I've studied all the Lojong teaching. I know it. I read everything. I've memorized everything. Is there any more? I'm here to receive your pit instruction. And that pit instruction may be just one advice. From now on, every day recite minimum one mala of Om Mani Padme Hum. Could be just that, and just following that diligently, and that could be the hidden pit instruction, that which makes all the understanding bring into a realization in your continuum. Just that could be. You see. Or maybe could be something else. Maybe not even about reciting mantras or meditation on something. Maybe at least once a week, go and sweep around the temple. Or maybe conduct make sure that minimum 3 prostrations a day. Could be anything. You see, or even though, so could be anything, So this usually you get from your gurus, when you seek advice, and those advice other could be the pit instruction to all the Dharma learning that we had. And if we follow correctly, diligently, and that's the way that how our realization in the path may actualize. In particular, in the context of our present uncommon Mahayana instruction, Atisha possessed the instructions of the three teachers. First, possessed what he received from his teacher, Dhammarakshita. This teacher gave away even a part of his own body by cutting flesh from his thighs. So just one example, that showing the mature, the sign of the altruism. You see, so these are just a sign of someone who possesses realization in the practice of altruism. So Adisha stated that although Dhammarakshita's philosophical view were inferior based on this practice alone, one can be certain that he had attained a great seal of perfection. You see. So philosophical view is holding the Vaibhasikas, the hero Vaibhasikas, the hero view of the Vaibhasika school. Atisha himself hold the Madhyamika, Madhyamika school, Pasangika Madhyamika school view. You see, so from the philosophical view is inferior, but from that one action, from many other, from that one, selfless action, can able to determine that this great master have achieved the great seal of perfection of generosity. His philosophical standpoint was that of the Vaibhasika tenet of the disciple school, so the hero school. His scriptural authority was garland of three clubs, while his analytic reasoning was based on the Avaghosha's ornament of sutra and the Jataka tales. And secondly, Adisha possessed the instruction received from Maitri Yogi. He was the junior Kusali brother, and he was known as a Maitri Yogi because he meditated solely on the Maitreya with a special focus. His philosophical standpoint was of the non-abiding, the middle way, the Madhyamika school. His scripture authority was the Sutra on the Cautions of Akasagarbha. Well, in his analytical reasoning, he followed Shantideva's guide to the Bodhisattva way of life and the Shantideva's companion of training. Third, Atisha also possessed the instruction that he received from his teacher Silingba. Silingba's philosophical standpoint was akin that of the non-Buddhist school, that without relinquishing self-grasping, use it as the very ground of training. You see, so here one clarification. The philosophical standpoint, Silingba's philosophical standpoint was akin to that of the non-Buddhist school. So it's not talking about that, his philosophical view is like a non-Buddhist, holding the non-Buddhist philosophical view, which has to be then beyond, which has to be even different from the basic Buddhist the philosophical tenets view. It's not talking about that. Here, simply talking about that he do not, here he's talking about the self-grasping attitude. Instead of regarding it's about negative about it, rather he used that as a basis to actualize the altruistic mind. The worst basis of a samsaric ordinary being, which is the self-grasping attitude, the worst contaminated mind, which is the self-grasping attitude. Instead of regarding as just simply as to eliminate, but rather taking that as a basis, or taking the self-grasping attitude as the fundamental potential to actualize the altruistic mind. So because of that, because of not giving a point that self-grasping, as like the rest of the other philosophers, like self-grasping attitude is object to be negated, and the non-Buddhist philosophers, there are certain non-Buddhist philosophers nurture the self-grasping attitude. You see, so here the similar to non-Buddhists, the similar in the sense that Selingpa uses self-grasping attitude as a root point to develop the altruistic, bodhicitta, or the cherishing mind of the well-being of all being. So because of that, Selingpa philosopher's standpoint are kind to the non-Buddhist school that without relinquishing self-grasping, use it as a very ground for training. His scriptural authority was teachings of Vimalakirti, while in his analytic reasoning, he followed the Asanga's level of Bodhisattva. This instruction stemmed from Arya Maitreya. You see, so his analytical reasoning, philosophical analytical reasoning, he followed Asanga. So Asanga is one of the main philosophical holder of the philosophical standpoint view for the minority school. You see, so from here you can understand the Selingpa's the tenet philosophical view standpoint is like Asanga, like the minority school. You see, that which is inferior to the Atisha, his own philosophical standpoint view, but still, he's holding this Mahayanic philosophical standpoint view of the minority school. That we can understand because of what philosophical treatise that he followed. The master he followed is Asanga, because of that. So therefore, if this don't interpret correctly, some may think that Selingpa's philosophical view is like a non-Buddhist. It doesn't mean that. So I already given a reason before. So this instruction scheme is from Maitreya. So I am Maitreya to Asanga, then Selingpa, then to Atisha. So this is the stream of the lineage. The present teaching belong to the instruction received from teacher Selingpa. So the Sechibuchugi Kyanzen, that the Sechibuchugi Kyanzen, the commentary on the mind training teaching, the lineage, if you trace back, then it traces back to Lama Atisha, and the Lama Atisha to Selingpa. It's a Selingpa to Aya Asanga, Aya Asanga to all the way to Aya Maitreya. You see, so this is the lineage. This in turn is based on the following statement of the teachings of the Vimalakirti. egoic viewing of the perishable composite is the seed of the Tathagata. So where this said is said in the in the Bimalakirti's work on called the Bimalakirti Nirdesa Sutra. So in the Bimalakirti Nirdesa Sutra stated, egoic viewing of the perishable composite is the seed of the Tathagata. So the self-grasping, egoic self-grasping, which is perishable composite, is the seed to develop the altruistic mind. So just the reason is that State Chibuji can give the reason for that. Just as a lotus does not grow out of the well-leveled soil, but from the mirror. In the same way, the awakening mind is not born in the heart of disciple in the whom the moisture of the attachment has dried up. You see, so I used to feel very encouraged when you hear that, because first of all, we are, within the desire realm. Our main issue, our main negative emotion is the desire. You see, and not only that, the five degenerate time, one of the worst negative emotion that overwhelmingly, take over our system is attachment. even even when we even when we relate to tantric practice, it's not related to here, but even just for understanding, if we relate to tantric practice, Vajrayogini, Heruka, Vajrayogini practice regarded one of the most effective practice in the five degenerate time, in today's time, in this southern world. Why? Because of a direct antidote to the desire, taking desire into a path, you see. So because of that, you see, it's a sweetest tantric deity, sweetest tantric path. So now when it comes to the Lojong teaching, in particularly in relation to tradition of Stilingpa, then during this desirous, in the desire realm, in the desirous, what you call the heavily contaminated by desirous period, then that itself play the basis to develop altruism, and that is really encouraging. You see. So the meaning here is how much we desire for our own well-being, how much we grasp on our own happiness. We are full master in that, isn't it? Each and every one of us, we know how hard standpoint we take on that. The well-being of oneself, the attachment to one's own well-being, is so intense, so persistent, so consistent, so in depth. It's deeply rooted, isn't it? Like almost nothing can shake it. Almost like that, isn't it? Exact that mind, just take into gradual elaboration, towards the rest of the other sentient being. You see, that same kind of attitude now you develop with your mother, you develop to your father, your brother, sister. Same kind of way you develop with your brother, sister, then your friends, then your all the humanity, then to all sentient beings, etc. You see, so if we don't have that the moistured, sensitive attachment, state of mind, we won't have opportunity to develop this sensitive, artistic attitude towards rest of the sentient being. You see, so taking this self-grasping as self into a path, into a tool to develop the highest attitude of the path, and that itself is the most inspiring. It's the most encouraging. You see, like almost up to now, we only see only negative, and whenever we think about self-grasping, it's like we feel like very nasty about ourselves. Feel very filthy about ourselves. Now you feel, wow, oh, the self-grasping has a great value. A great value. If we take that into a correct direction, correct training, wow, this is the one that it actually serve the best basis to actualize Buddhahood. You see, so like that. Mm. Therefore, in dependence upon this self-grasping, it is possible to cultivate the awakening mind that exchanges self and others, which is the uncommon cause for attaining Buddhahood. This very self-grasping, therefore, the bone of the Buddhas. Since the teacher Selingpa gave this to him as the kernel of his spiritual practice, Atisha accorded great respect and reverence to this particular teacher, or more so than to his other teachers. Atisha stated, "The little warm-heartedness that I possess is due to the kindness of my teacher Selingpa. Because of this, my lineage has a blessing." You see, so so lineage has a blessing. So this again is a very important thing. We have to search for blessing. It is very important for the spiritual development. Mm. 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 Again, Atisha is reported to have asserted that no remedy in either the mantra or the perfection vehicle can be an adequate substitute for entering the gateway of this spiritual practice. Atisha bestowed this teaching upon the spiritual mentor Domtempa as his heart remedy practice. Although Domtempa had many disciples, his principal students were the three brothers, Geshe Chekawa, Geshe Podova, Geshe Puchungwa. Chengawa Rinpoche, Geshe Chengawa, is said to have stated that one must first equalize, then practice the exchange, self-exchanging with others. This it is taught. It is taught is the tradition of Maitreya Yogic. So in the tradition of Maitreya Yogic, in order to do the 4-point the self-exchanging with others to develop bodhicitta, first you need to equalize the three partial attitude into neutral state, then develop the rest of the 4 points. Seeing the faults of self-grasping, seeing the benefit of the grasping of then neutralize, then seeing the faults of others, seeing the faults of self-grasping, seeing the benefit of the cherishing others, then actual self-exchanging with others. So that is the Maitreya Yogi's tradition, which emphasized, which preserved by the Geshe Chengawa. Geshe Chenga Rinpoche. Katamba Geshe. Podova is reported to have stated, "As for me, when I receive it from the old layman from Redding forest of junipers." So the Geshe Podova is one of the very key lineage of this teaching. When he received from laymen from Reddingpa, referred to Geshe Domtempa, Podova said, "I heard that in the tradition of teacher Selingpa, one must practice the exchange right from the start." So Lama Selingpa's tradition to develop bodhicitta is from very beginning, you start to practice the self-exchanging with others. So here, the Geshe Chipuwa says, "Here I shall present the instruction of Podova." So this has 7 points. So the commentary will be based on Lama Selingpa, Geshe Domtempa, and Geshe Podova. So based on that, I'm going to present the commentary on the 7 points. Okay, so I will stop here. Then we will continue from next week. So thank you very much. Okay, so we do short dedication. Yeah. So due to the altruistic motivation in the beginning, also, a few moments of cultivation in the meditation, doing meditation on loving kindness, compassion, etc. in the beginning, and discussing on this precious teaching, just simply, reading through and hearing, those teachings from those realized masters is without any doubt, purify our mind, accumulate immense merit, and may this collective merit be complete cause for numberless sentient beings actualize temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. May this collective merit that we accumulated be the complete cause to overcome, all the sufferings that this southern world human are facing through this pandemic crisis, overcome as soon as possible. May this collective merit be the cause to actualize the cure for this disease, as soon as possible. And may this collective merit be the complete cause when everyone, goes into normality of the life, people's mind transform into altruism and able to actualize and cultivate, peaceful, loving kindness, compassionate world among families, among societies, among countries. May this quality merit be complete cause for those who ever pass away, in particular on the last 49 days. May they free from all the sufferings, hallucination sufferings, impact of past negativities, throughout the intermediate state, and actualize higher rebirth in the precious human rebirth or pure land or enlightenment. May this collective merit be the complete cause for all the good people, like such as good people, like the source of sentient beings happiness, sentient beings virtue, source of world peace, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Devja Lama Sobrang, and all the other precious gurus, and compassionate people, and compassionate people like you, each and every one of you, have a long, perfect, healthy life, success in all your activities that you engage, fulfill all your aspirations, creating happiness to sentient being, and up to the liberating numberless sentient being up to full enlightenment. May this collective merit be the complete cause to eradicate all the natural disasters and man-made disasters, whatever disasters out there that are causing so much suffering to any sentient being, to pacify immediately. May this collective merit be complete cause for each and every one of us, have the full determination, courage, joyous effort, wisdom, mindfulness to carry, the legacy of our gurus in our day-to-day life, to the rest of our life, until we achieve full enlightenment. And in particularly, through the teaching and practice in the Lojong. Thank you very much, everyone. Please take good care and be happy. Yeah, take good care of each other, and see you. Bye-bye.